Welcome to PhoneRadar. This is Chetan Bhavani and I'm going to talk about a few tips and tricks of the Yu Yureka smartphone. The Yureka smartphone from Yu comes with a 5.5-inch HD display and the Qualcomm Snapdragon 615 processor with 2 GB of RAM. The most interesting part of this smartphone is its CyanogenMod based on Android 4.4.4 KitKat, and that is what we are going to talk about in this video. The first tip is on how you can edit the power button menu in the Yureka smartphone. Usually the power buttons don't come with any specific options to change the menu, but here you can go to the settings, and under the settings in device go into the buttons and you'll see the power menu. Tapping on that, you'll see these different options, that's reboot menu, screenshot, profile switcher, airplane mode and sound panel. So if at all you wanted to have a screenshot option, you can turn it on and you can see that in the power button menu, now you have the screenshot option to take the screenshot directly. So this was the tip on the power button menu changing. Now the next tip is on how to capture screenshot on the Yu Yureka. It's fairly easy to take a screenshot in the stock Android, and it's exactly same in the CyanogenMod because you can hold down the power button and the volume down button to capture a screenshot pretty easily. Though the options aren't limited here because you have the power button menu which I just shared, where you can have the option to take a screenshot, and tapping on that will again take a screenshot just like you did with the two physical buttons. The next option is on how you can capture screencast on the Yu Yureka. The screencast feature is mostly available on the high-end devices, even though it doesn't require any extra set of hardware specs. And looking at that, it's interesting to see the screencast feature included in the Yu Yureka, and that is because of the CyanogenMod. And there is a dedicated app to take the screencast that's named as Screencast again, and it's directly accessible from the app drawer. For those who wanted to know what it can do, it will just take a screencast of what all you are navigating through. So starting the screencast, it would just record everything. You can even have the option of touches. It can show the touches if you wanted to, or if you choose not to have them, you can cancel them from the notification panel. Once you stop the recording, it is ready to share or it is ready to preview directly from the smartphone, and it also takes the voice from the microphone and record that as well. The next tip is on how to edit the quick settings on the Yu Yureka. You can directly jump to the quick settings and editing options by dragging down the notification panel, and from there tapping on the plus icon in the quick settings on the top. So tapping on the plus option will give you an option to either drag the quick settings up or down or to the sides, and also drag them to the bottom where you'll see an option to delete the quick setting option. And you can even tap on the reset option on the top to restore the default display tiles and layout. So if that is not enough, you need to go to settings, and in the settings under personalization, there's a notification drawer under which there's a section for quick settings panel, where you can even have the options to auto close panel, show smaller tiles than what they are right now, and have the static tiles layout changed, as well as you can choose to drag down the quick settings from right or the left from the top, and even choose to have them turned off and open by just tapping on the top right icon. The next tip is on how to change the themes on the Yu Yureka. The Yureka includes a dedicated application for that on the app drawer, as well as the theme store can be accessed by tapping on the menu button of the device, which will show an icon to open the theme store. To access the store, you will need to make sure that you have created an account for it, and you can do that by going to the settings, and under the accounts there is an option to add an account Yu by Cyanogen. So that is what you need to add and be logged in to access the themes and download the themes from there. And it's not just about the themes, because you can even go to the components from the menu, and under the components there are total 8 different components, that's icons, status bar, controls, navigation bar, wallpapers, fonts, boot animations and sound packs. So a lot of customization is possible in the Yureka smartphone from Yu, and that is again thanks to CyanogenMod. How to open camera app from the lock screen on my Yu Yureka? So that's a question, or many might not even notice this feature available on the lock screen, because it's a standard lock screen having the time and date widget along with the battery percentage and the temperature in the current time. So these are the options that are seen on the lock screen, but if you drag the lock screen from the right towards the left, there's about 25% of the lock screen that is covered by a grayish area, and that is what shows the camera icon. You can just leave that and it would show the camera widget from there, and it would open the actual camera application. So that is very easy, and you can again go to settings and try to change it, or if at all you don't want to have this camera application widget directly from there, you can go to the settings. Under the personalization there's a lock screen setting and turn off custom lock screen. So that is how you can remove that kind of widget, and a full camera widget would open up from there. The next tip is on how to see the battery percentage in the status bar of the Yu Yureka. Out of the box, Yu Yureka comes with a simple circular icon for the battery, and it doesn't show any percentage. If you wanted to change that, go to the settings, and under the settings there's option for status bar under personalization. Go to status bar, and there are options for the battery status style, that's the circle, icon, portrait, text and hidden. And just below to that there's the option of show battery status percentage. If you tap on that, it would show the exact percentage of the battery that is left, and that is useful when you don't have an actual estimation with the circular widget that is present on the status bar. The next tip is on how to change the physical buttons function on the Yu Yureka. This is a very interesting piece of the pie on the CyanogenMod. The OS allows changing of the physical button functionalities of the system, and usually whenever you see any Android smartphone, they come with the options only for the volume and the power. And in the Yu Yureka, this can all be accessed from the button menu in the settings area. For instance, you can enable the on-screen navigation bar and disable the hardware button, which is sometimes preferred by the users, and that is for the bottom buttons where you wanted to have something on the screen on this large display. Other noticeable options include end call by pressing the power button, customize the navigation bar with more add-ons, and quick launch shortcuts, left-handed mode. These are all for the buttons, shortcuts and functions. The next option is on how to turn on the adaptive backlight to save the battery on the Yu Yureka smartphone. There is an amazing adaptive brightness feature available for the CyanogenMod OS for Yu Yureka, and this feature distinguishes on how much brightness you need when using the device in functions like sunlight or moonlight. So this feature can be enabled from the display and light section from the settings. Scroll down and you will find the adaptive backlight option. Tick the checkbox in front of you and you want to enable the feature. If you want to enable the feature, and it will dynamically adjust the brightness levels while maintaining the maximum battery life. So that is usually under the sunlight when you wanted the brightness to be even more than the normal, but you don't want to waste so much of the battery. The next tip is on how to enable double tap to wake and sleep function on the Yu Yureka. This feature is mostly included in the high-end devices again, like the LG G2 and LG G3, where they call it the knock on and knock out features. And here it's a bit different, but still a very useful one. Under the settings, go to display and light section. Scroll down in the list and you'll find options double tap to sleep and wake the device. Wherever on the screen, when the screen is turned off, you can double tap to wake it up, and when you're anywhere into the interface, just double tap on the status bar and it will lock the screen. The next tip is on how to change the screen of animation styles on the Yu Yureka. The screen of animation styles can be changed on the Yureka, and to do that you have to go to settings and then into the display and light section. There you'll have to scroll to the end and tap the last option. There are two options, electron beam and fade out. That is based on your choice which one you wanted to choose, either the electron beam or the fade out, the way you want to see the screen turning off. And the next option is how to change the wallpapers and add widgets on the Yu Yureka. Just like I had talked about the home screen options, you just have to tap on the menu button whenever you're on the home screen and it would pull up the options from the bottom, and you have the options for wallpapers and widgets. And this is something similar to what you see on the stock Android also as well. You can change your wallpapers and widgets directly from here, and here the wallpapers are not just limited to some extra live wallpapers, but there are some wallpapers from CyanogenMod OS itself. These look pretty neat with some different patterns, and these are again limited to the CyanogenMod users. The last tip is on how to control brightness levels from the status bar on the Yu Yureka. While most of the mobile vendors would not play around with a lot of features because they have the stock Android or somewhat modified ones, CyanogenMod offers a lot, and the brightness level adjustment is one such thing on the device. You can simply adjust the brightness level by sliding across the status bar, which is quite a great experience. And you don't have to again always go to the status bar notification panel and the quick settings, because you directly have the option of changing the brightness from there. And again, if at all you wanted to turn this off, you can just go to the status bar option under the settings and you can just turn off the option of brightness control. So these were the tips and tricks, and there's a lot you can do even apart from all these things in the CyanogenMod OS of the Yu Yureka smartphone, but we are limiting this to here, and we might come up with the version 2 of the tips and tricks if at all you are still interested in. So just comment below and we'll try to come up with more important tips and tricks if these aren't enough. So this was the Yu Yureka smartphone and the tips and tricks of it. Keep checking out PhoneRadar for more videos. Thank you.